10th chapter, wherein uh, the 10 types of creation is briefly mentioned. But we started our discussion from the question asked by Vidura. Vidura wanted to know what did Brahma do after the disappearance of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. So, Lord Brahma performed several austerities in order to understand the source of that lotus. Then he had the darshan of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. He offered prayers, and then eventually uh, Lord spoke to him, giving him empowerment. Then Lord disappeared. So with that empowerment, what did Brahma do? That was the query asked by Vidura. So Maitreya says that having instructed by the Supreme Lord, as the Lord instructed that he should perform tapasya, that tapasya will reveal everything to him, whatever he is supposed to do. That tapasya will reveal the entire universe, which should be the end product. So in that sense. So Brahmaji performed tapasya for 100 celestial years, almost 36,000 human years. At the end of that, he, as a result of the performance of long penance and maturity in knowledge, and also by the bhakti that he performed with that purified consciousness, he sees everything within his heart, what he is supposed to do and how he is supposed to do. Those two things will be revealed to him. So then, with that empowerment, with that knowledge, with that understanding, he swallows the water and the wind, which were turbulent since the time of the previous evening, in the time of previous destruction. He swallows them, now the entire universe becomes stable, serene. Then he enters into that lotus, divide that lotus into three divisions first, but he was not happy. Why only three divisions? I want to create many variety of living entities. There should be many more divisions. So he creates then 14 divisions prominently, and within each division there are many more subdivisions and sub-subdivisions like that. Very many divisions he made so that many variety of living entities can be accommodated throughout the universe, so that they can perform their activities according to their desire. So this particular task of creating 14 planetary systems and also all the variety of living entities in the universe is given to Lord Brahma, because samsthabedam samahruta dharmasya hi animittasya vipakam parameshta. So this is the verse number 9. Why this was given to Lord Brahma? Because dharmasya hi animittasya. Lord Brahma wanted to serve the Supreme Lord without any selfish motive. He wanted to serve the Supreme Lord selflessly. He wanted to become an instrument in the mission of the Supreme Lord. So that made him qualified, or that makes him give suitable qualification so that he can do this great monumental task. The Lord empowers him. So at this point of time, Vidura again asks a question. So can you please tell me about the time little bit? You spoke about time at various times in the from the very beginning of the creation. That time in agitated the three modes by which all the byproducts are produced. So can you speak about time little elaborately? Time is also another form of the Supreme Lord. So what he wanted about time? Kalakyam Lakshanam Brahmam. Please speak about the qualities of time. And Hare Adbhuta Karmana. Kala is an instrument with which the Supreme Lord performs Adbhuta Karma. So please tell me all the activities that Lord performs through the medium of time. And also Bahurupasya. That time will have so many forms. Talk about all the forms also. So in order to answer that, Maitreya briefly speaks about time from verse number 11 to 14, and he elaborately speaks in the entire chapter 11. Chapter 11 is completely dedicated to describe the time, nature of the time and other things. But here he briefly mentions Guna Vetikarakaro Nirvishesho Apratishthita Purushasthat Upadanam Atmanam Leela Yasrujat. The first two lines talks about the form of the time. Guna Vetikarakaro Nirvishesho Apratishthita. Nirvishesha, there are no qualities to describe about time. Midura asked about the qualities of the time. There are no specific qualities time has to describe. But there is only one quality. We can understand that by seeing the transformations in Prakriti, by seeing the transformations in three modes, we can understand the nature of time, how time functions. And then Purushastad upadanam atmanam lilaya srujat. And the Supreme Lord uses time as efficient cause, upadana karana, through which the Supreme Lord creates unlimited variety of universes, maintains them, and annihilates them. Everything that happens in the material world is through the time potency of the Supreme Lord. So this is the Adbhuta karma of the time. The qualities is, there are no specific qualities. We can only understand the nature of time through the transformation of three modes. Its Adbhuta karma is, it becomes an instrument in the hand of the Lord, through which the Lord performs creation, maintenance, and annihilation. And then Bahurupa, its various forms. It says that Vishwamvai Brahma Tanmatram Samsitam Vishnu Maya Ishwarena Parichinnanam Kalena Avyakta Murtina. The form of the time is Avyakta Murti. There is no visible form for a time. It only has got invisible form. But still, the time becomes the principal cause for the transformations in Maya, which is Lord's one of the energies. So from that Maya only, the Lord creates the Brahmandas, the Lord creates the 14 planetary systems, and Lord creates all the variety of material forms in the material world. Transformation of Maya. And this Maya is the energy of the Supreme Lord. How does Lord accomplish all these things? By time. So in one way, whatever we see in the form of universe, in the form of 14 planetary systems, in the form of all our bodies, the gross bodies, subtle bodies, whatever, they are all different forms of time. Because time is their efficient cause. Because of time, they are all coming into being. Because of time, they stay for some time. And because of time, at one point of time, they will be vanished. So these are the different forms of time. Time का हिसाब से सब होता है. Of course. See, karma, everything is there, but super boss is time. Karma also functions under the supervision of time. In that sense. So this is same thing is explained. It is not that it does it once. It's keep recurring. So it is mentioned here that somebody may question that, hey, how can you say that the Supreme Lord's energies are time and Maya, because of time Maya is transforming into all these things and everything is function of time, everything is form of time. How can you say that? ये तो universe तो illusory है, ब्रह्म सत्यम जगन मिथ्या. It has no substance. So how can you talk that universe is the form of time? The 14 planet systems are form of time. All the bodies, the visible bodies are the form of time. How can you say that they are all illusory? So in order to negate that idea, Maitreya says that Yate danim tathakrecha pashat api etad idrusham. The universe existed before the creation and it will also continue to exist after the annihilation, just like it is existing now. Just like the universe is existing in front of our eyes, which we can see, which we can perceive, which we can understand, which we can interact with, it was there before the annihilation in the previous creation. And it will be there after this annihilation when the new creation starts. So don't think that this universe is illusory. It is real. Only thing, it has got some starting time, some tenure where it will stay, and at some point of time it will be destroyed. It will go through a cyclic process, but it is real as you and me, as real as the Supreme Lord. So in order to establish that, Maitreya speaks this. So after speaking this, he wanted to summarize the nature of time in one verse. In one and only one verse, he want to summarize the entire nature of time. That is verse number 14. So from where we'll be starting our class today. So for your pleasure, last week we could not open the slides. So today it is getting open. So from chapter 10, I'm not sure that will work. From chapter 10 and chapter 12, chapter 20, and then eventually canto 4, canto 5. These chapters and those cantos, they specifically talk Nietzsche second from right about Visarga, the secondary creation of the universes, secondary creation of the living entities by Lord Brahma. So from chapter 5 all the way up to chapter 11, it is primarily the topic of Sarga is being described, and in between chapter 10 starts with Visarga, then it goes to chapter 12 and then 20 and then third, fourth canto, fifth canto, etc. etc. So herein the subject matter starts with Vidura asking a question to Maitreya. This was the first verse we just discussed. Let me know how Brahma, the grandfather of the planetary inhabitants, created the bodies for the living entities from his own mind and body after Garbhodaksha Vishnu's disappearance. So this is the Visarga or Naimitika creation or secondary creation. So the creation made by Brahma, specifically by his mind and body, to populate the 14 planetary system that he had just created. From the lotus stem, this is Lord Brahma's daily creation at the beginning of his day. So this is daily creation by Brahma. So this is the simple definition of Visarga. But actual definition as it is given by Srila Sukadeva Goswami in the second canto 10th chapter, wherein he says that Brahmano Guna Vaishamyat Visarga Purusha Bhuta. That means Visarga is the creation of bodies for the jivas by the resultant combination of 24 material elements that were created by Karnadoksha Vishnu. So Brahma uses the same 24 elements, combining which he creates bodies for all the variety of living entities. It means creation of both moving and non-moving entities. It means giving jivas forms with intelligence, senses and body. For what purpose? For engaging in material enjoyment, for which jiva came to this material world. Once that is done, for pursuing liberation by the practice of jnana or yoga, or for practicing bhakti according to the qualification of those living entities, so that they can go back home back to Godhead. This is the twofold purpose with which the material universes and the material planetary systems and the material bodies have been created by Lord Vishnu and Lord Brahma combined together. The last two are same almost. Pursuing liberation, that is Sayujya, by practicing jnana or yoga, and practicing bhakti according to the qualification. The acharyas kind of keep Sayujya away from other attainment of perfection. So bhakti gives us Salokya, Sarishti, Samipya, Sarupya, and then eventually the higher Aishwaryotter Mukti or Prema Sevotter Mukti, etc. etc. All those things are there. But jnana and yoga they target for Sayujya. So that is generally kept as a separate kind of liberation. Always. So this chapter talks about Brahma's creation. So now we will be discussing the 14th verse. Sargo navavidastasya prakruto vaikritastuya kaladravya gunerasya trivida pratisankrama. Someone can read the translation.
There are 9 different kinds of creations besides the one which naturally occurs due to the interactions of the modes. There are 3 kinds of annihilations due to eternal time, the material elements, and the quality of one's work.
So the one underlying understanding is the time which has no birth and no death. But to say in a most refined way, the time which has no beginning and no end causes the beginning and end of everything that is there in this universe, including the universe. It is because of time we have a beginning called birth and we also have a end called death. So that beginning and ending of this universe is summarized in this verse. So Sarga means creation, Pratisankrama means annihilation. So creation has 10 divisions and annihilation has 3 divisions. So because of the time, because of the influence of time, there are at different intervals are different categories of creation and different categories of annihilations are there. So Sargo Navavidastasya Prakruto Vaikritastuya. So there are 9 types of creation which are further divided as Prakruta and Vaikruta. Prakruta means the primary creation, Vaikruta means the secondary creation. So out of 9, there are 6 comes under Prakruta and 3 come under Vaikruta, and 2 ya indicates that there is a 10th creation which is combination of both Prakruta and Vaikruta. Thus, there are 10 types of creations and there are 3 Vida Pratisankrama, 3 types of annihilation. They are caused by Kala, Dravya and Guna. Wait. We are going to discuss that elaborately. Rest of the chapters are about that only. If chapter title is 10 types of creation, we are going to discuss them elaborately. There are 10 kinds of creation in 3 groups. The 6 elemental creations by Mahavishnu. This is called Prakriti Srishti. Prakrita is here. There are 6 kinds of creation which are basically creation of 24 elements. And then creation of 3 types of jivas by Brahma. That is called Vaikruta. And creation of the Devatas, the 10th one, is a combination of both Prakruta and Vaikruta. It is the creation of Devatas is by both Vishnu and also by Brahma. How it is by both we will discuss later on. Both elemental and by Brahma, that Vaikruta Srishti or Naimitya Srishti. But it is considered to be part of Naimitika only, by Brahma only, Vaikruta only. And then the daily creation of various jivas by couples, Nitya Srishti. This is one more thing, additional thing, which will be discussed at the end of the 12th chapter. I added here only, because these slides are not for your Bhagavatam slides, these are for my cosmology slides. So Nitya Srishti will be explained in the 4th canto and 5th canto. They talk about daily creation. So that also we will discuss what it is. Then 3 types of annihilations. The destruction of all the universes made up of 24 elements at the end of Brahma's life by Kala. That is called Prakrita Pralaya. At the end of Brahma's 100 years of lifetime, all the universes are annihilated. That is called Prakrita Pralaya. And next time, when Karnadaksha Vishnu breathes out, that time the 24 elements are created by their combination, all the unknown variety of universe are created. That creation is called Prakritika Srishti. That is nothing but Prakriti Srishti, nothing but Prakritika Srishti. Whatever is created by Mahavishnu will be annihilated at the end of Brahma's lifetime. That is called Prakritika Pralaya and Prakritika Srishti. And then whatever is created by Brahma at the beginning of every day will be annihilated by Lord Shiva at the end of the day of Brahma. That is called Naimitika Pralaya. The daily destruction at the end of Brahma's day by Dravya. Dravya includes the 5 gross elements: earth, water, fire, and ether. So basically, the fire coming from Lord Sankarshana and rains cause the Naimitika Pralaya. At the end of the day of Brahma, at some places Bhagavatam tells that Lord Sankarshana, who is holding the Bhumandala below, he becomes angry and emits fire from his Burkuti. That fire burns the Bhuloka, Bhurloka and Swargaloka. But other place it is mentioned that when Lord Sankarshana becomes angry, from his Bhukuti comes the 11 Rudras. And they become very angry. They open their third eye. From that third eye comes fire. That fire burns Bhuloka, Bhurloka, Sargaloka. That's how. And then the burning will go on for 100 years. By then everyone will die. Every living entity in the Bhuloka, Bhurloka, Sargaloka and lower planets will be dying. Every day one died. Then there will be 100 years of rains, which will dissolve the entire Bhumandala into the water. If there are huge rains for 100 years, the earth lost its existence. Like that, Bhagavatam says. The entire Bhuloka, Bhurloka, Sargaloka are submerged in the water. In fact, the Bhumandala will go and submerge itself in Garbhodaka ocean. That is what happens at the end of Brahma's day. That is called Naimitika Pralaya. So thus, whatever Brahma creates, that is called Vaikruta Srishti or Naimitika Srishti, and whatever Lord Shiva destroys, that is called Naimitika Pralaya. And then, the destruction of individual bodies by karma, the individual's actions under the 3 gunas, is called Nitya Pralaya. The daily we see that so many people are dying, especially now because of Corona. At least whether by Corona or not, we don't know, but like that propaganda is created. That is called Nitya Pralaya. the daily death. So same way, daily we see many people are taking birth. That is called Nitya Srishti. So like that we have 3 category of creations and 3 category of annihilation. Yes, little loudly so that they can hear.
Yeah, Krishna is actually glorified. Then why is he, when he's getting angry? So, what is that anger that so much of destruction is happening?
So here Mataji is asking that why Sankarsana becomes angry? He is the Supreme Lord, he is supposed to be peaceful. So actually he was waiting. Bhagavatam 5th canto chapter 25 talks about it. Lord Sankarsana is actually waiting that all of us will practice bhakti and go back to Godhead. But we are so adamant that we don't want to go back to Godhead. We are continuing our activities in this material world, sometimes becoming Devata, sometimes becoming Asura, sometimes becoming human beings, sometimes becoming animals. And the day of Brahma passed. And he tolerated till now. Now he has no more tolerance. So he killed all together. Just like at the end of Kali Yuga, Lord Kalki will come and destroy everyone, all the adharmic people. Like that, Lord Sankarsana, through the medium of Lord Shiva, he will destroy all those non-willing living entities who don't want to go to spiritual world. So that is the play.
Hare Krishna.
So that is yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, that means there is a time, means at the time of Pralaya nears, means the time approaches for the Pralaya. That means there are no devotees remaining on the Bhumandala, not only on the earth, but entire Bhumandala gets destroyed. So the
Not only in Bhumandala, the lower 7 planets, Bhumandala, Bhuvarloka, Swargaloka, the non-devotees will be there and they are all destroyed by the fire emanating from Lord Sankarsana, and those living entities will enter into the body of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and they will get new bodies in the next day of Brahma and they will continue to perform various activities.
No, my question is, Prabhuji, that means there is no devotee remaining on the Bhumandala at that time, because Lord Sankarsana gets angry that no one is utilizing the opportunity given for going back to Godhead, and that is why he gets angry. No, so if there are
devotees already go back to Godhead, by then no one will be there.
Okay, fine.
Just like, I mean, simple. The end of the day of Brahma will be Kali Yuga. So at the end of Kali Yuga, what kind of devotees will be there?
Yeah, right.
Simple. No need to worry so much. So then in the next 3 verses, it talks about the 6 kinds of Prakrita creation. So we will read through verses. I will not change the slides. Slides will be there. If you have book, you can open your book and see the verses. I am reading now 15th verse. Adyastu mahata sargo guna vaishamyam atmana dvitiyastu aham yatra dravyajnana kriyodaya. Someone can read the translation?
Of the 9 creations, the first one is the creation of the Mahatattva, or the sum total of the material ingredients, wherein the modes interact due to the presence of the Supreme Lord. In the second, the false ego is generated, in which material ingredients, material knowledge, and material activities arise.
Yes. So out of the 9 creations, the first 6 are by Vishnu. They are part of Prakrita, the creations of Lord's Maya Shakti, Prakriti. So they are done by Mahavishnu through the medium of Pradhana. So these are all manifestations from Pradhana. That's why they are called Prakrita Srishti. The Srishti from Prakriti. That's why it is called Prakrita Srishti. So by the glance of Lord Vishnu upon Pradhana, the first element comes is Mahatattva. And then the second element comes is Ahankara. The first creation is Mahatattva, second creation is Ahankara, which consists of Dravya Shakti, Jnana Shakti and Kriya Shakti, etc. And now the next verse talks about the next 2 creations. Bhuta Sarga Tritiyastu Tanmatro Dravya Shaktiman Chatutra Aindriya Sargo Yastu Jnana Kriyatmaka. Sorry.
are created. The sense perceptions are created in the third creation, and from these the elements are generated. The fourth creation is the creation of knowledge and of working capacity.
Yeah. The third creation is creation about the 5 tanmatras which have the capacity to produce the 5 gross elements. So this we have already discussed in the 5th chapter, that first comes the ether. As soon as the ether comes out, the ether needs a medium so that ether can, the first element comes out is sound. As soon as the sound is generated, it needs a medium through which it can go from one place to other place. That was ether. Then comes touch. The via medium for touch is air. Then comes form. The via medium for form is fire. Then comes taste. The via medium for taste to go from one place to other place is water. Then finally comes fragrance. The via medium is earth. So the 5 tanmatras are created which have the capacity to produce the 5 gross elements. And then the fourth creation is the Chaturtha Indriya Sargo, the creation of senses. What kind of senses? Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas. The knowledge acquiring senses and action senses. They are the fourth creation. Then what are the 5th and 6th creations? Vaikariko Deva Sargas Panchamo Yanmayam Mana Shashtastu Tamasa Sargo Yastu Abuddhi Krita Prabho.
The 5th creation is that of the controlling deities by the interaction of the mode of goodness, of which the mind is the sum total. The 6th creation is the ignorant darkness of the living entity by which the master acts as a fool.
So the 5th creation is the creation of the mind and devatas. The devatas who will be supervising the activities of Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas. And the 6th creation is the creation of ignorance. Okay. Shashtastu Tamasa Sarga. It is a Tamasa Sarga. And then Yastu, because of which Abuddhi Krita Prabhu. The Prabhu means the master, the living entity who is called as Kshetrajna in Bhagavad Gita, who is also called as Purusha in the Bhagavatam, is called here as Prabhu. That Prabhu, who is the master of the body, becomes Abuddhi Krita, becomes bewildered. The Jiva, who is supposed to be the lord of the body, but identifies himself with the body. He thinks he is the body. So this happens by Tamasa Sarga. So one important thing which we are going to discuss in the next slide. The first 5 are the creations of one aspect of Prakriti. And the 6th one is the creation of another aspect of Prakriti. That is Avidya Maya. So that we will see here.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Prabhuji, I didn't understand this thing that the creation of the sense devatas, like we have seen in that creation chart in the beginning, now that sense devatas are the first created and then this thing. So here it is said it is 5th, that is one thing, and another thing is why the ignorance or darkness needs to be created.
Wait, we are going to discuss that in the future. That is the main subject matter for the next 2 hours class. So now here is not telling that which happened first, which happened next. They are just categorizing whether the Tamasic Ahankara produced the elements first or Satvik Ahankara produced the Devatas first. It's okay. All of them could have happened simultaneously. In order to segregate them, they are categorized into 3 different groups. So this is from Tamasic Ahankara, this is from Rajasic Ahankara, this is for Satvik Ahankara. This is 10 divisions of creation, not 10 orders of creation. Yeah, these are 10 divisions of creation. It is a grouping of different things in a different way.
Okay, so it is not
not necessarily be in the order. I mean to say that these 3 happen simultaneously. These 3 are happening simultaneously. There are 3 divisions of Ahankara, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti and Dravi Shakti. You don't have to worry about which happened first, which happened next. All 3 are happening simultaneously.
Okay, thank you.
So now, So these 5 are the creation from Prakriti directly. And the next one is from Avidya Shakti. What is the difference between Prakriti and Avidya Shakti? That is mentioned in the next slide. Maya, Prakriti, has 3 conditions or 3 divisions. What are they? The first one is called Pradhana. Pradhana is called in Sanskrit as Guna Maya. This is that aspect of Maya Devi, that aspect of material nature, which is having the 3 modes in her possession. That Prakriti with 3 modes is called Gunamaya. That is generally called as Pradhana or Dravya, from which the 24 elements starting from Mahatattva all the way up to earth are created by Mahavishnu's glance upon Pradhana. These are the real creations. The aggregate and the individual bodies of the Jivas with gross and subtle bodies are created by using these 24 material elements. By the combination of these 24 material elements, the Brahmanda is created. By the combination of these 24 elements, the 14 planet systems are created. By the combination of these 24 elements, the body of a human being, animal, plant and devatas are created. And more important is that these are real creations, not like Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. As the Mayavadi say, Jagan Mithya, that means the universe made up of 24 elements is Mithya, illusory. Not like that. Jagat is Satya. These are real creations. They are not illusory or imaginary or not like that.
So, the morning class, when Navadatma was explaining Markanda's 7 composite experience of annihilation and the pleasure of seeing them. That happened while the other people were still doing Gayatri.
No comments. You ask Damodar Prabhu only. Gayatri thing is all made up by Damodar Prabhu. It is not there in the Bhagavatam. You please go and ask him.
In Bhagavatam, it says that he actually experiences the annihilation.
Okay. So these 24 elements which are mentioned in the previous slide, the first 5 creations. Creation of Mahatattva, Ahankara, and the Pancha Mahabhutas and the 5 Tanmatras and the 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, intelligence and mind, like 24 elements. They are all from Pradhana or Gunamaya, one aspect of Prakriti. Then what is the second aspect of Prakriti? The second aspect of Prakriti is Avidya Shakti. This is another Shakti of the Supreme Lord, which bewildered the Jiva with 5 types of ignorances. Prabhu Abudhi Kruta. That means the Jiva who is supposed to be the master of the body, because of these 5 coverings known as Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesha, thinks oneself as the body. So this bewilderment will be given to him because of this. These are not real creations because they do not have any existence in the spiritual world. In fact, the 24 elements have their present deities in the spiritual world, always serving the Supreme Lord. The 24 elements in the form of their present deities, they always stay in the spiritual world worshipping the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Ahankar nahi, Ahankar ka present deity. You will understand. We will discuss. So currently we have earth, but if we want to worship, whom we worship? She is the deity. So she is there in the spiritual world, serving the Supreme Lord. No, Rudra. Yes. They are all there in the spiritual world serving the Supreme Lord. So these details are mentioned. If you want, you can refer to 10th Canto, chapter 13, Brahma Vimohan Leela. When Lord Brahma comes back, when he sees all the cowherd boys who transformed themselves into all the Vishnus, 400 Vishnus, then there appears a universe within which Lord Vishnu is being served by all the variety of devatas. Specifically, the names are mentioned about Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, etc. They are the principal 14 deities of the elements, 24 elements. They are always there in the spiritual world They come down here to assist the Supreme Lord, etc. etc. So it is like that. But when Jiva comes to this, these 5 things are not there in the spiritual world, because in the spiritual world everyone is Satchit Ananda. But these 5 things will cover our Chit potency. The Chit potency of Jiva is covered by these 5 things. Thus, these 5 things are not there in the spiritual world, but they are there in the material world. As soon as Jiva comes into material world, these 5 things are given, by which we forget who we really are. Our identity as per Chaitanya Charitamrita is Jivera. Loudly. As per Bhagavad Gita. No. Mamai Vamshe Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So because of these 5 coverings, we forget that. Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesha will make us forget. And example is that as long as I am living in this material body, in this human body, I always say that I am a human being, I am a male, I am a brahmachari, etc. etc. If somebody is living in an animal body, that Jiva will think that I am an elephant, I am a tiger, I am a horse. If somebody is living in the body of a Devata, that Jiva will think that I am this Devata, that Devata. That identity is by Avidya Shakti. And forgetfulness of one's real identity is also by Avidya Shakti. The body is given by Pradhana, the new identity is given by Avidya Shakti. But by taking shelter of Vidya, one can get out of this misidentification by Avidya and the covering by Pradhana. And then one becomes qualified to Karma, Jnana, Yoga, Bhakti, Tapasya and Vairagya. So they are all part of Vidya. Vidya is nothing but the Vidya potency of Lord's Maya will teach us Karma, Jnana, Yoga, Tapasya, Vairagya and Bhakti, taking shelter of which we can get rid of the influence of Avidya and Pradhana. These are the 3 aspects of Maya Devi. So till now we have discussed how Pradhana functions, how Pradhana transformed itself into 24 elements. By their combination how the universe is made, and by their combination how lotus came out of Lord's navel, from which Lord Brahma created 14 planetary systems. We discussed everything about the manifestation of Pradhana. And now we are going to discuss about the combination of Pradhana and Avidya. How the combination of Pradhana and Avidya giving us different material identity in this material world. That is the subject matter of 10th, 12th and 20th chapters. And then how Vidya will help us get rid of this Pradhana and Avidya is the subject matter of teachings of Lord Kapila. Chapter number 25 to 32. So of course, this will be there in the future 12th chapter. Tasarjagriyanda tamishram madatamisram adikrit mahamoham cha moham cha tamachajnana vrittaya. The 5 kinds of that Avidya Shakti is manifested in the form of 5 categories. They are called 5 Ajnana Vrittis. Brahma first produced the functions of ignorance. Why? In creating the Yakshas, Rakshasas, Devatas and humans, false identity must arise in the Jivas. The false identity is due to these 5 Ajnana Vrittis. Bhagavatam calls them as Tamas, Moham, Mahamoham, Tamishra and Andatamishra. Of course, Devata means a false identity. If they identify with that body, that is a false identity. If they identify themselves as a servant of Supreme Lord, then it is not a false identity. If Brahma thinks that I am Brahma, that is false identity. If Brahma thinks that I am servant of Supreme Lord, that is true identity. Without ignorance, this is not possible. Without the ignorance, without the 5 functions of ignorance, one cannot identify oneself as a human being, animal, etc. In that way. Thus, first the functions of ignorance appeared on their own through Brahma. Though it is a creation of Mahavishnu, the 6th creation of Prakriti Srishti, but it is Lord Brahma uses the 5 kinds of Avidya Shaktis and the 24 elements, combining them, he creates all the variety of living entities. So briefly read through this. What does it mean by these 5 things? Tamas or Avidya means ignorance, forgetfulness of our original Sarupa. Moha or Asmita means getting a new identity in this material world. Mahamoha or Raga means those people who are giving us enjoyment in this material world or those objects, we develop attachment with them. And Tamishram and Dvesha means there are 2 different living entities getting happiness from the same source. There is a competition between both of them. Both say that this is mine, this is mine. There is envy between them. And finally, Abhinivesha or Tamishra means everyone is fearful of death. Death means end of all enjoyment. So Jiva, out of false identification, thinks that let me enjoy as much as possible before death comes. That is Abhinivesha. So not present in the Jiva, originally in the spiritual world. These were created by Avidya and given to all of us. And these 5 are categorized into 2 shades of Maya. Avarnatmika Shakti and Prakshepatmika Shakti. Avarna means Tamas or Avidya, that is covering our original identity. Prakshepa means it is giving us new identity. Moha, Maha, Moha, Tamishram. These 4 are giving us new identity and new activities in this material world. Our whole life is bewildered by these 5 things only. Whole life goes in these things. If we are only with these 5 things, we continue to go through the cycle of transmigration. This is how the material world functions. The 5 functions of Avidya were actually creations of Lord Vishnu only, but Lord Brahma uses them to create all of us. They are the source resources. The 5 Avidya Shaktis and 24 elements. They are raw material. Combining them is going to create. Of course, we have already seen that. So now, the rest of the chapter is going to talk about the Brahma's creations. Brahma's creations are 4 more. 1 to 6 already done, 7 to 10 are Vaikruta. Creations of Brahma who possess the Lord in his intelligence. So 7, 8, 9, 10 we will discuss step by step, 1 by 1. So now verse number 18. Before that, any questions till now?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
I had one doubt. Prabhuji.
Yeah, please, little loudly.
The demigods, you said the element, the gods of this what you call material elements. In that, they all are residing in the spiritual world. You said. So, so for Earth, who Ashwini Kumar?
No. Okay. For fragrance, it is Ashwini Kumaras. Yes.
So we say Bhudevi for Earth. So
okay.
I.
No. See, that was about the function. Bhudevi is the substance which is like the entire Bhumandala, etc. But the function, what is the in relation to the senses, they are the 14 devatas in relation to the 14 senses.
Okay.
The 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, and 4 Antakaranas.
Yes.
But the function of the Jnanendriyas is to get the Tanmatras. The Tanmatras are the qualities of the 5 gross elements. That's how they are all combined together. But if you take Bhudevi, earth element itself, the Mother Earth is the present deity. So Mother Earth is also always there in the spiritual world serving the Lord. If you go to Ranganath Swami, we have Sri Devi, Bhudevi and Nila Devi. So like that, she is always there serving the Supreme Lord. And she also comes down to material world in order to assist the Supreme Lord also. So in that way we can take.
Okay, so both are there. We can think that Ashwini Kumara as well as
yes.
Whatever for
Ashwini Kumaras are the devatas for the fragrance, for the nostrils. Nostrils. Yeah.
So for Earth, we should take as like Bhudevi.
Bhudevi, yes.
And one more question, Prabhuji. You were saying that this 3 components of Maya Devi, I think you have referred to this in second canto where it is coming, or you were just giving it second?
No, that is coming now only. It is being mentioned here only in the 17th verse purport by Sri Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. Prabhupada does not talk about it.
I think then you have referred to this in second canto.
I was keep telling always, whenever that context comes, I might have mentioned many times.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Avidya word is being used. It came many times, especially in the second canto 6th chapter. There was one verse, Sri Chakrame Vishwan Shasanavnasane Ubhav. Vidyamcha, Vidyamcha, it comes. And we also discussed about Vidya and Avidya in the Chatushloki Bhagavatam.
Correct, Prabhuji. Okay, 6th chapter you said. Vidya.
6th chapter also and 9th chapter Chatushloki also it was there.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Fine. Verse number 18 and 19 together. Saptamo Mukhya Sargastu. Sorry. Sadime Prakrita Sarga Vaikritamapi Me Shrunu Rajo Bajo Bhagavato Lile Yam Harimedasa. So here it is saying that Maitreya is saying that till now I have discussed Prakrita. Now I am going to describe the Vaikrita creation, the creation of Lord Brahma, who has the Supreme Lord in his intelligence. So now Lord Brahma is going to create. What is creating? Saptamo Mukhya Sargastu Shadvidastastu Tamchaya Vanaspati Oshadilata Tvakshara Virudo Druma Ushrutastam Apraya Antaspurusha Visheshina. Someone can read the translation of 19 and 20.
The seventh creation is that of the immovable entities, which are of 6 kinds. The fruit trees without flowers, trees and plants which exist until the fruit is ripe, creepers, pipe plants, creepers which have no support, and trees with flowers and fruit. All the immovable trees and plants seek their subsistence upwards. They are almost unconscious but have feeling of pain within. They are manifested in variegatedness.
Yes. So this is the 7th creation. Saptamo Mukhya Sargastu. It said that among the creation of Chara and Achara living beings within the universe, the first creation is that of the immobile living entities. So Lord Brahma first created on the surface of the earth the plants, which are immobile living entities. And then Utshrotas, that means they distribute their nourishment. They accept all the minerals and water from the earth, and the trees grow upward. The substance the minerals which they accepted from the roots, they will also come up throughout the tree, and the tree grows upward. That's why they are called Utshrotas. They go upward and they grow upward. Their nourishment is upwards. And they are almost unconscious. Tamapraya. Their consciousness is always very dull. But have a feeling of pain within on being cut. Antaspurusha. When we cut the branches of a tree, they don't express their pain outwardly, but they feel inside. They are also living entities like all of us, but their consciousness is very dull, but they experience pain when we cut the branches. And Visheshina. They are not fixed in one size, but have unlimited variety. Every plant you see, it looks differently. There are no similarities between any two plants. Every plant is of different variety only. That's why it is called Visheshana. Unlimited variety is there. But though it is having unlimited variety, all those various plants are grouped into 6 categories. Vanaspati, Oshadi, Lata, Takshara, Viruda, and Druma. What are they? Vanaspati means there are some plants without any flower, they directly give fruits, such as apple. They don't have any flowers, but they directly give fruits. And Oshadi means annual plants. They only live for maximum 1 year. They can't stay more than 1 year. Oshadi refers to generally all the vegetable plants. They only stay for 1 year, not more than. Generally, they stay for 1 season only, but at max they can stay for 1 year. They don't live more than that. All the vegetable plants, they are called Oshadi. And then Lata means creepers. They need some support to grow. Without support, they can't grow. And then Pakshara, hollow plants. Their trunk is hollow, like bamboo trees and castor trees, they have hollow trunk. And bushes, that is Viruda. They don't need any support. Their trunks are not hollow, but their trunks are very strong. More than the trunks, the roots are very deep rooted and very strong. It is very, very, very difficult to uproot these plants. Did you remember any verse in a second canto or first canto came with the word Viruda? That is Bhagavad Gita. Here Prabhuji is telling about one verse from Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter. But any verse from Bhagavatam second canto? Bhagavad Gita Ashwatthamenam Suviruda Moolam. That 15th chapter talks about Ashwatha tree, which has got deep rooted roots. Suviruda Moolam. And this Viruda comes in the second canto. Atmajaya Sutagara Pashu Dravina Bandhushu. Rajye cha vikale nityam virudam mamatam jaho. We will have mamatva in this material world because of these 8 things. Atma refers to our gross body, our body. Jaya is wife. Suta children. Agara is home. Atma Jaya Sutagara Pashu. Those days it was animals, nowadays it is vehicles. Dravina, wealth, bank balance. Bandhushu, bank balance and possession, properties, etc. Bandhushu, friends and relatives in society. And Rajya, for Parikshit Maharaj's kingdom. But for all of us, our job. That is our Rajya. Our occupation. That is our Rajya. That is homework for you. Hare Krishna. 244. No. The student is testing the teacher. So may not be 4, but 2, 4. The first 3, 4 verses, 3 or 4. So that is Viruda. So a person becomes deep rooted in this material world or in the material consciousness by these 8 things. They are very difficult to uproot, just like the roots of this tree. And then the 6th one is Druma. The trees which give flowers first and then fruit, that is mango. They are the 6th category of different plants. All the other trees can be part of these 6 categories. Vanaspati, Oshadi, Lata, Pakshara, Viruda, Druma. One of these category. All plants will fall into. And then the 21 to 25 talks about the 8th creation of 28 variety of animals. Tirasham atmana sarga so aštavimsha dvidomata avido bhuritamaso gragnagna hrudya vedina.
The 8th creation is that of the lower species of life, and they are of different varieties, numbering 28. They are all extensively foolish and ignorant. They know their desirables by smell, but are unable to remember anything within the heart.
Okay. Tirasham Ashtama Sarga, the 8th creation is having Ashtavimsha Dvidomata. It has got 28 varieties. And they are called as Tirasham. That means they distribute their nourishment horizontally. They eat all the variety of animals, which we are going to discuss in the future next slides. They eat from the front, their body grows horizontally, and they throw out the remnants from the back. These animals are generally horizontal living entities. And Avido, they are extensively foolish. They have no concept of the future. They don't plan for the future. They don't do any life insurance savings or mutual funds, etc. etc. They live only for that day. The animals eat for that day only. They don't plan for next day. Yeah, it's extent. That's why the animals act on instinct. Then only they act on the instinct basis. And Bhuri Tamaso, they are preoccupied only with food. They are completely ignorant. They are not interested in any other thing. They are only interested in food. Even a group of goats or animals are there. Even if one animal is taken for slaughtering, the other animals are immersed in eating only. They don't look around what's happening and they don't get fearful and they don't go away like that. That kind of thing they don't do. In that sense, they are Bhuri Tamaso. And Gran Ajna, they understand their needs, their desirables, whether something is fit to be eaten or not, only by smell. One example is that of Lord Varaha. When the Bhumandala was submerged into Garbhodaka ocean, Lord appeared as Varaha, jumped into Garbhodaka ocean, and he began to smell where the earth is. And he found out and lifted it up. So the animals generally understand whether something is eatable or not by smell only. If you happen to see when the cows grow for grazing, they actually smell first. Then they start eating. And Hridi Avedina, they are devoid of lengthy deliberation. They are unable to remember anything within the heart. They don't make plans for future, etc. And what are the variety of these 28 variety of animals? They are mentioned in the next verses. So the next verses, verse number 22. Gaur Ajo Maisha Krishna Shukarogavayoruru Vishapa Pashavasheme Avirustra Chasattama Karoshavo Ashvataro Gaura Sharabas Chamaritata Ete Chaikashapakshatta Shrunupancha Nakampashum Swashrigala Vrakau Vyagro Marjara Shashallakau Simha Kapi Gaja Kurmo Godacha Makaradayam Kankagriddha Bakasyena Bhasha Balluka Barhina Hamsasaraka Chakra Hua Kakuluka Dayakaga. So the verse number 22 talks about the animals which are called as Dvishapa. Dvishapa means the animals with cloven hooves. So in the next slide, I will be going to show the image. It's basically their feet is having two parts. Just like that. The feet is divided into two parts. I will show you image in the next slide. So what are the animals come in this category? The cows, goats, black deer, buffalo, pigs, wild oxen, antelopes, sheep, and camels. They are the 9 important animals which are of the category of cloven hooves, Dvishapa. And there are 5 animals without cloven hooves, Ekashapa. That means their feet is not divided into two parts. The entire feet is only one part. The donkeys, horses, mules, Gaura deer, Sharabas, and yaks. So in this verse number 23, the first line, it is written as Chamari. Chamari means yaks. We have this seva, Chamar seva in the deity worship. So they are made by yak tail. Okay. Here Rajuna Shamprabhu and Mata Setar, they saw that animal in the Badrinath. So it is like that. So the 5 animals with cloven hooves. Of course, Gaura deer is with having cloven hooves, but this is not considered to be part of this. So it is also included part of the previous animals, because here the deer comes, black deer comes, and black deer and Gaura deer are combined together. That is the reason for that. And then the next verse says that there are 11 animals with 5 nails. There are some animals who have their feet with 5 nails, like us, the dogs, jackals, wolves, tigers, cats, rabbits, porcupines, lions, monkeys, elephants, and turtles. All these variety of animals will have 5 nails in their 4 feet. And then, like this, we have 25 animals. 9 plus 5, 14 plus 11, 25. The 25th one is turtles. Though it is an animal, but itself is a subcategory, that is a reptile. The turtles, lizards, and also snakes. Though they don't have any particular feet with 5 nails, but the snakes, the lizards and turtles, they are in the category of reptiles. They are considered to be the 25th category. And the creation of snakes is mentioned in the 20th chapter, verse number 47 to 48. The lizards and turtles are mentioned in this particular chapter. Wait. The 26th is the water dwelling aquatics, Makara. Some say alligator, some say crocodile, etc. etc. And some say fish also. So all the category of animals which are there in the fish, in the water, they are represented by one word, Makara, in this shloka by Maitreya Muni. So they are in the category of aquatics. That is the 26th category. And then the next verse talks about the different variety of birds. Among all those birds, the herons, peacocks, vultures, cranes, hags, birds of prey, balugas, crows, and owls, they are land-dwelling birds. Either they fly or they live in the land or on the plants. But there are some birds which live in the water. The swans, Indian cranes, chakravakas. Day and night they can sleep nicely in the water only. They can swim across the water, they can live in the water, they can eat and sustain themselves in the water only. But other birds, their sustenance is on the land and the trees. And these birds sustain based on water because they live on the water animals. So in that way. So this is the categorization of the 28 variety of animals. Of course, there are many more animals, but all the other animals may be one of these categories. So in sense, it includes the aquatics, reptiles, and these are all mammals, and these are the birds. All these categories fall into the category of animals. This is the second creation of Brahma. First creation is that of the plants. Second creation is that of the animals of lower consciousness. So here you can see the animals with cloven hooves, the animals without cloven hooves, their feet is only one. And the cloven hooves animals have the feet is of two parts. It is like this. Cow will have like this. The horse or donkey will have like this. Even camel also will have like this. Donkey, horses, mules, gaura deer, sharaba, yaks. Okay. Camel here. Camel has two divisions. That means. So it is like that. So then animals with 5 nails, dogs. Then animals with 5 nails, but they are category of reptiles, that is lizard. The land-dwelling birds, peacock. The water-dwelling birds, swan. Aquatics, the fishes and crocodiles. So these are the different categories of animals.
Prabhuji, what is Sharaba?
Sharaba?
Yeah, which animal it is?
It is Sharaba is I never saw it, but it is one kind of huge bull, wild bull.
Okay.
It is like wild bull, maybe hippopotamus.
They call it Gawa or something, na? I think.
Sharaba, 1 second. What is this? The 8th creation of the animals and cows, goat, buffalo, black deer, pig, and antelopes. So Gaura, Jaga, Krishna, Shukaro, Gavayo, Ruru, Vishaba, Pashava, Chaime. Sharaba is there. Next one, verse number 23. It is donkey, horses, Ashwatara is the mule, Gaura deer. Sharaba is Sharabas only, like that one is mentioned. Sharaba is one kind of wild oxen, maybe hippopotamus.
Okay.
Or as it is mentioned, bison. Bison could be the one that category, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, bro. Thank you.
So Sharaba, yeah. Okay, now the one variety of human beings, the most important creation of Brahman. Arvakshrotastu nama shattar ekavidondunam rajodiko karmapara dukke cha sukamanina. So the 9th class consists of the beings in which the food is distributed downwards. Arvakshrotas. Utshrotas going upward. Arvakshrotas coming downward. The human beings eat on the top and the body grows downward and extreme will be thrown out from the below. So in that way. And then there is only one class among the human beings. When it is talked about the plants, It is mentioned Visheshana. Every other plant is different to look at. Their biological bodily structure is also different. When it comes to human beings, every human being's bodily structure is same. The color may be different, but the body is made up of 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, and 1 mouth, 2 hands, 2 legs, and 1 liver. All those things, the internal bodily organs, they are all same for all the human beings. That's why they are called Ekavida, one category. And Rajo Adhika, they have a predominance of Rajas. Karma Para, human beings are not Narayana Para, they are Karma Para, they are dedicated to work. And finally, Dukkecha Sukhamanina. They think themselves happy even in the midst of distress. So, freedom, Rajo Adhika, Karma Para, and Dukkecha Sukhamanina. Of course, nowadays because of lockdown, we are all free from this kind of situation. But you can remember your old days. So that was the third creation of Brahma. Now, the fourth creation, the creation of Devatas, is going to be described now. Vaikrutastaya evaite Devatargacha Sattama Vaikarikastu ya prokta Kaumarastu Payatmaka. Someone read the translation?
O good Vidura, these last 3 creations and the creation of demigods, the 10th creation, are Vaikrita creation, which are different from the previously described Prakrut creation. The appearance of the Kumaras is both.
So, these are the 3 secondary creations made by Brahma. So, Brahma himself created the 3 creations. The creation of the plants, creation of the animals, creation of the human beings. And then, the creation of the 8 category of Devatas, along with the sense Devatas, were both Prakruta and Vaikruta. The 14 sense Devatas were created by Lord Vishnu. And the other Devatas, which are going to be discussed in the next verse, are created by Lord Brahma. Whether they are created by Brahma or created by Vishnu, but they are Devatas. The Devatas themselves as one category. So in general, the Devatas creation is both Vaikruta, because some of them are created by Brahma, and also Prakruta. Some of them are created by Vishnu. That is a combination of both. Similarly, just like the Devatas creation is both Vaikruta and Prakruta, similarly the Kumaras creation is also both Prakruta and Vaikruta. So in that way, the creation of the great sages and the Devatas is both Prakruta and Vaikruta. Otherwise, the first 6 is the direct creation of Vishnu, that is Prakruta. The next 3, the direct creation of Brahma, that is completely Vaikruta. The 10th creation is both Prakruta and Vaikruta, which consists of the creation of Devatas and the great sages. The Devatas creation is mentioned very nicely in the 20th chapter. The sages creation is mentioned very nicely in the 12th chapter. Here only the names are mentioned. The details are mentioned in the future 12th and 20th chapters. Now the next 2 verses talks about who are all these Devatas. Who are all the 8 category of Devatas. So it says that Devasargas Chastavido Vibhuda Pitaro Sura Gandharvaptarasa Siddha Yaksha Rakshamsi Charanai Bhuta Preta Pishashamsha Vidya Dharakinna Radaya Dashaite Vidurakyata Sargaste Vishwasukruta.
The creation of the demigods is of 8 varieties: the demigods, the forefathers, the asuras or demons, the Gandharvas and Apsaras or angels, the Yakshas and Rakshasas, the Siddhas, Charanas and Vidyadharas, the Bhutas, Pretas and Pishashas, and the superhuman human beings, celestial singers, etc. All are created by Brahma, the creator of the universe.
So, The Supreme Lord through the medium of Brahma does all this variety of creations. So the Devatas creation includes 8 categories. One is Yaksharakshasas. The second is the chief Devatas, who includes Adityas, Vasus, Marus, Rudras, etc., Ashwinis, etc. And the fourth one is Daityas, Danavas, who are called Asuras. The fourth one is Gandharvas, Apsaras, who are the singers and dancers. The fifth one is Bhuta Preta Pishashas, the ghostly beings, which includes Vetala, Kushmanda and others. Sixth one is Sadhyas and Pitrus. The seventh one is Siddha Charana Vidyadharas. And the eighth one is Kinnaras, Kimpurushas and others. All these are all created by Lord Brahma, or the Supreme Lord through the medium of Lord Brahma. Yes. Ravana is part of Rakshasa. So why these are all called as Devatas? Because among these 8 categories, the Devatas are the main people. And Devatas are the most pious people. So with their name, they are all called. Of course, there are all subcategories. They are all not Devatas, but they are all like Devatas. They also have powers like Devatas. They are all superhuman beings. Even the Bhuta Preta Pishashas also have powers like the Devatas. They are very mystic. Pitrus means forefathers. They are also Devatas. Pitur Devatas. They are not human beings. Abhi human being kahan se aayega? 9th creation human beings. These are all Devatas. Like Devatas. देवता बन जाते हैं ना, अभी आप भी देवता बन सकते हैं. हाँ, परफॉर्म कर्मयोग अच्छे से देवता बन जाएंगे. So these are all different.
Like these Bhuta Preta Pishacha, they are also superior to human beings, because human beings don't possess any such powers, but they possess like.
Yes. By very nature, by birth, they possess all the powers. But human beings need to endeavor to get powers. Yeah, all these people by birth, they get powers.
Then why it is considered that like we discuss many times now, like if somebody does suicide or something, he goes in the ghost yoni and then he suffers a lot and all those things. Like it is there that they don't have the body and they have a lot of desires. That is why they suffer. But still, it is if the bhutas and pretas, pishachas are considered higher in capacity than the human beings, then why it is said that if we do something and we go to that unit, it is miserable?
See, superior in the sense of power, not in the sense of consciousness or willingness to serve the Supreme Lord. Even a asura also can be more powerful than human being.
Yeah, they are always.
Human being can be sattvic and asura is completely rajasic or tamasic. So it's okay. See, one thing, we may have heard about the Bhuta Preta Pishas around us. Somebody commits suicide, they will become Bhuta. That is the lowest category of Bhutas or Pretas. But that is not the all in all. There is a separate loka for Bhuta Preta Pishas who are very, very powerful people there. Even those who die in the battlefield when they go to Swarga, they are not the main Devatas. Main Devatas always stay in the Swarga. And all these people who go from Bhumandala to Swargaloka, they are simply residents. For small time, they go there. Just like a lucky lottery draw. And people here becoming Bhuta Preta Pishas like temporary manifestation, temporary stay only. But there are Bhuta Pretas who are always there in that Loka, who are very, very powerful. Okay. And those who worship Bhuta Preta Pishas, those who are expert in mystic, what is this called? Black magic and all. They can become Bhuta Preta Pishas, very strong, powerful Bhuta Preta Pishas, and then can go to the Bhuta Lokas afterwards. Okay. So it is like that. Some image about the Devatas and others. Asuras and Devatas, all the variety of categories. Now finally the last verse of this chapter. Atah param pravakshami Vamsham manmantarani cha evam raja pluto srishta kalpa dishu atma bhurari srijati amoga sankalpa Atmaivatmanam Atmana. Someone read the translation.
Now I shall describe the descendants of the Manus. The creator, Brahma, as the incarnation of the passion mode of the personality of Godhead, creates the universal affairs with unfailing desires in every millennium by force of the Lord's energy.
So, the Supreme Lord himself becoming Brahma performs these creations. So, this is the description of chapter 10 about the 6 kinds of creation by Lord Vishnu and 4 kinds of creations by Lord Brahma, that of plants, animals, humans, superhuman beings. Okay, it is post. Right now, one Jiva is in the position of Brahma. The next time when Lord Vishnu creates, that time somebody else become Brahma. Hare Krishna, any queries? If there are no queries, we'll take a small break, then we continue with 11th chapter. Hare Krishna.
Fine, Prabhuji.
Okay. Fine.
Hare Krishna.
So that,
Prabhuji, I had one queries in the second half of this chapter. When you talked about the 2 shades of Maya, one is the covering aspect, that is what is it?
Avaranatmika Shakti and Prakshepatmika Shakti.
So what is the second Shakti is doing? I mean, what is its function?
See, Avarana means it covers our original identity. Prakshepa means it gives us new identity.
It induces new identity. Okay.
Because of which we think that we are human beings. We are male, female, child, husband, wife, father, grandfather, etc.
Yeah, because also when we talk, like as Mataji asked, we discussed part of avidya and functions of avidya. So there were like 3 functions, and the third function was also to bring the jiva to understand that we are not this person.
Yes. The third function of Maya, that is Vidya, it will help us come out of this misidentification.
Okay. So here, when you say this particular function, it induces new identity, it is still avidya only.
No, avidya gives us new identity.
Yeah, it's still avidya only functioning.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, there was one small query from the last chapter, like when Brahma sees the Lord, it is mentioned, like we were discussing about the Garbhodakshay Vishnu, how he was looking like a mount of coral and all that. But there also it is mentioned that he sees Krishna in his Gopal form. So
That Acharyas have mentioned that. That is Acharya's commentary, especially the Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas. That is their rasa.
Okay, so in that form only he was also viewing Lord's form as Gopal. That's what Acharya's commentary says.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So, Vinod was a question. They say, why are these entities not real?
So here Binit Prabhu is asking a question that why these identities are not real? Why the 5 functions of avidya are not real? Simple. So I have been born in 1983 and I may live for a few more years, whatever it is. Only these many years I can call myself as a human being and as a male. Before that I don't have any right to call myself as a human being, and after this also I don't have any right to call myself as a human being. This identity is but I am not male. As Atma, I am not male. This body is male body. वो सब काम का नहीं, कुछ काम का नहीं. See, Prabhuji, See. Wait, Prabhu, wait. We are discussing philosophy. We are not discussing practical aspect. Philosophy means you have to see everything. It is not that we are not denying that you are male, you are supposed to perform all these functions. We are not denying that. But from the point of view of eternality, philosophy means from the point of eternality, from the point of creation and annihilation. What your identity of human being for 60 years, what does it do? Still there can be relationships. You are a Vaishnava, he is a Vaishnava, Mataji Vaishnavi. Still that relationship can continue. As a Vaishnava you act, not as a human being. You can be in the human body. Human body is like a covering. Can you do your office work by wearing pant shirt? Can you do your office work by wearing t-shirt? Can you do your office work in the home, especially in this current day scenario, without shirt but maybe undergarments? Huh? Same way. You can do your seva to the Supreme Lord either as a human being or a devata, the animal, as plant. The external covering may change. Seva can continue on in whichever way your external covering may be. Not like everyone should actually come to that conclusion. That is the problem. That's what we are discussing. Because of avidya, people are bound here in this material world. Because of their identity. If you go outside of this, no one will care for you that when you say that I am Atma. That is avidya. That is the function of avidya. Avidya is so strong. Usko break karne ke liye we have to children avidya. Karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, tapasya, vairagya, and finally bhakti. Then one can come out of that clutches. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. We'll meet afterwards after the break. We'll have a 5 minutes break now. Hare Krishna.